right, y'all. Rickey Smiley Morning Show, 25 minutes after the hour, y'all. Our next guest has been all over the internet lately, and he's here with us today to set the record straight. He's an award-winning singer, bishop, and pastor of the Chosen Vessel Church in Fort Worth, Texas. Joining us this morning is a friend of the show, Marvin Sapp. And good morning. Thank you for joining this morning.
Thank you.
And listen, let me say this. I'm not here to exploit the situation. You are my friend.
Thank you, sir.
And I'm a real friend. I'm a loyal friend. You understand? And I haven't even talked to you this week.
No,
I know your phone was blowing up, but I had sense enough that everything that you sat here and said during the commercial break, I already knew. You don't have to explain that to me. I grew up in the church. In your own way. In your own way. Let's start with the attacks that are on you and the death threats on you and your family.
Well, let me just start.
Just whatever way you want to start.
Let me just start by saying first, Rickey, I thank you for this opportunity.
Yes, sir.
I thank you for the opportunity to be able to come on your show and for you to use your platform to give me a chance to just, add some context, some context and clarity to, a clip that, a whole lot of people have seen. Sadly, one of the things that has happened is, people have created a narrative that is absolutely not true. Number one, the narrative was created, that I raised the money at my church, that I kept the people at my church hostage until I raised $40,000 for me. That's the narrative that has been shared, that I locked folks up in my church, that, I made them give $40,000 and I wouldn't allow them to leave until they gave it to me. And to be honest with you, that is absolutely false.
Yeah.
Number one, that offering was taken last year. This was a service that happened last August. Number two, it didn't happen at my local church. It actually happened at a national organization's international meeting where churches from all over the country, all over the world came together for the purpose of celebrating the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. People took issue with me saying, shut the doors. Understand, I never said lock the doors.
Yeah.
I said shut the doors. Shutting doors mean that people still have the ability to go in and out. They've taken issue with my tone. And I can honestly say, looking at the video, maybe I was a little more assertive than I should have been. And I can apologize for that. I can apologize for that. But three things I need to make sure that people understood. Number one, the $40,000, if it was $40,000 that was raised, was never given to me. That money was raised for the purpose of taking care of the budget for their conference, not Marvin Sapp. Number two, it didn't happen at my church. It happened in Baltimore. Number three, people take issue with me being firm with the ushers. Anybody that goes to church, ushers one-on-one, that's the first thing they teach you as being an usher, is that there are 3 times you don't walk. You don't walk during the altar call. You don't walk during prayer. You don't walk during the offering. One of the reasons being is because of the sacredness of the moment. But it's also about security. As a pastor, we understand and we know that churches are being robbed at gunpoint. It's happening all over the country. This is not something I'm making up. This is factual. So if you got 5,000 people in a room, you want the doors closed. You don't want the doors locked. I couldn't get them locked anyway. It's a convention center. But the doors needed to be closed, and there was a lot of pandemonium stuff that was going on out there. But I wanted to share that first. But that ain't even the reason why I'm here. Here's the reason why I'm here. The reason why I'm here is because what has happened is people have taken clickbait and made something out of it that it isn't. And because of that, my church has been getting phone calls. People have called my church and cussed me out. My staff are afraid because I've received death threats over $20 and shut the door. People have come to our campus. They have come to my church to try to cause problems, issues, challenges. And again, my children I don't look at comments. We was talking about this. I don't read comments. When you got millions of followers, you ain't got time to be reading all the comments. You just don't have it.
Right.
My children do, and they are afraid. And the reason being is because I'm their only parent. I'm a widower. They're afraid for my safety. So now we've had to update and increase security and all the things I've never had to do before because of the vitriol and the anger that people have shown, the things that they've said in my thread and stuff. And all of this is because of a misunderstanding. And I'm not blaming people. Let me be clear. I'm not blaming anybody because of their misunderstanding. I'm just saying in all you're getting, get an understanding. And if I'm sharing with you that the $40,000 that I was trying to raise, and again, I don't know if the organization got 40, 10, 20, any of it. I don't know. I'm hoping that I actually raised more money so that I can help the organization that has been such a great support to me. These people.
And again, let's be clear. Not a dime of that money.
Not a dime of that money came to me. Not a dime of it.
And where did your money come from?
I've been blessed. I've been extremely blessed. I've sold millions of records. Millions. I'm a songwriter.
How much have you gotten paid from? And we on Radio Live.
Right.
How much have you gotten paid from your church? I'm just saying.
Okay, so
tell
see,
me
Ricky,
what you said during
I'm gonna
the commercial.
tell you. What people don't know is that I pastored 16 years in the city of Grand Rapids, Michigan. I founded my church. I pastored 16 years. We had a great church. Still have a great church there. 16 years of pastoring. I never got paid a dime. That's a fact. 16 years. You can call the church. You can ask them. I pastored the Lighthouse for Life Center Church in Grand Rapids, Michigan for free for 16 years. 9 years of those 16 years, I gave a minimum of $30,000 a month to my church. Wow. 30 grand a month to my church to ensure that the church could go forward. We had a lot of stuff. I had a college campus that we had bought. We had 3 other campuses. And my membership had dwindled after my wife had passed because I had to travel more in order to take care of me and my kids.
Right.
So, my membership, it dwindled, but we never lost anything. And as a matter of fact, this is factual. The day I announced the new pastor, I burned the mortgage of the church. When I left Grand Rapids, I left my church not only debt-free, but I left them with 6 figures in the bank and put a brand new pastor in and walked away and moved to Texas. I'm not walking around here trying to be a pimp. I'm not trying to take advantage of people. That's never been my passion. I'm serious about ministry. And let me go one step further. There's a whole lot of other pastors around here that are doing the same thing. Most pastors in America are bivocational, meaning they have jobs outside of their churches. The average church size in America is only 75 people. Look it up. It's factual. So we're not getting rich off the church. I am bivocational. I'm a W-2 employee at my church. I have a syndicated radio show that I do every week to over 60 different markets. I own real estate. I have mutual funds. I have annuities. I have stocks. I play the market. I took my money and I didn't trick it.
Money that you made from
money that I made from music,
records.
from hit records. I'm one of the only gospel artists with billions of streams.
And you tour.
And I tour. I just came off of a tour.
Sure.
That I made tons of money on. And I'm at the crib right now chilling because I don't have to go on tour. I can wait and do my next date.
Basically, you saying all that to say you don't need no $40,000.
I don't.
Got it.
And I'll take it if they gonna give it to me. But I did not raise this money for the premise and purpose.
And that was
of
a program that helped you get to where you
They
are.
gave me a platform. This organization is an organization I grew up in. It's a church organization I grew up in, and I'm appreciative. The reason why I'm gonna bring up the organization because it ain't none of y'all business. But the point is these people gave me a platform, man, and the reason why I'm known today is because of the opportunities that this organization gave me. So for me to go back and be able to preach and raise finances and give back to them so that they don't have to go in debt. Listen.
Hold on. Hold that thought. Hold that thought, y'all. 25 before the top of the hour, y'all. We're talking to Marvin Sapp. More Marvin Sapp up next. Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
I was just saying that, I think one of the most devastating things about this whole situation and circumstance is that, I'm literally praying for all of those who have actually spreaded the lie. And the reason being is because I don't think people really understand that when you do things like this, the effect that it has. Like if I was a weak guy, if I was a very weak person with all of the things that people have said in my comments and stuff like that, that my members of my church have read, that my children have read, people commit suicide on stuff like this.
Sure.
From this type of attack. And I know for a fact that there are some individuals that really don't have a clear understanding of the systems of the church. But then I know that there are some individuals that are listening, even as I speak, that have been church hurt. And that's the reason why they have a certain level of vitriol and bitterness as it pertains to the church. This particular situation for me is a church hurting situation because I did something for the church, but I'm taking abuse because of it. And that's what church hurt is all about. And as I just want people to really understand that this is something that we shouldn't do. Make sure you do your due diligence. Make sure you check out everything first. Make sure that you examine the information with clarity and context before you begin to share it. It's sad. I was labeled as a pulpit pimp. Honestly, let me be real, Rick. Some of this stuff is funny. They got this one meme that I was laughing this morning looking at with the Teddy Pendergrass fur coat on, and it got at the bottom of my face and said, "Close the door." It's hilarious. I'm just telling you, I can laugh at that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But let me go one step further. Everybody ain't able to handle that, and you all have to really, really be cognizant of it. You got to think about before you repost, before you slander, before you go in people's comments and say vile and just vitriol stuff. Make sure you know for a fact what it is that they've done. Now, if I was had babies all over the country, if I was, stealing money, if you found out that I was actually stealing money, I wouldn't mind being dragged. I wouldn't. But that's not what I done. And that's not what I did. The only thing I did was honor the leadership of our church's organization when they asked me to take up an offering. I tried to raise $40,000 for the organization, not for me personally. Right. The money that I make, I write songs. I own businesses. I have multiple streams of income. I have been good with the money and a good steward over the finances that God has given me. So
you don't have to explain.
At 58 years of age, if I don't drive a certain kind of car, there's a problem. That means I tricked off my money.
But you worked hard for it.
I work and still work hard.
And on tour and getting on planes.
Absolutely. Planes, trains, automobiles, hotels, motels, holidays.
And rehearsals. And singing. And preaching on Sundays.
Doing
and rehearsals and writing a song and producing and the hours and hours in the studio. Yeah, you worked hard for that. And what was your number one hits?
My number one hit was Never Would Have Made It.
Never Would Have Made It.
48 weeks at number one.
Yeah.
48 weeks at number one. When it first came out, I sold 4 million ringbacks and ringtones.
Come on, man.
4 million.
Yeah.
Y'all do the math. Y'all do the math. Who do you know that can work a job for 16 years and don't get paid? Who do you know that can give $30,000 a month to a church for 9 years? Do the math. Yeah. Do the math. And walk away from it. This ain't about $40,000. I don't know what it's about. Hey, but Marvin, I want to be clear.
Go ahead, Ken.
Go ahead. You've done a fantastic job of explaining in detail, the whole situation. You did better than me because
I'd have been going off.
No. You've done a fantastic job of explaining yourself. It brings to mind the saying that why run with the truth when the lie is way more entertaining.
Absolutely.
And that's what has happened in this case. And I respect pastors who actually do the good work like you're talking about, but I think it's become real popular over the last few years for people to attack people in your position. It started with the whole, Creflo Dollar and the plane thing. It just became real fashionable. But our people who are attacking you, you really need to examine your own life. If you are making death threats and typing out violent kind of things like that over this situation, you really need to sit back and think about where you are in life. That says a lot about you. That's crazy.
I want to say this to you, man. God just put this on my heart, and I'm nowhere in ministry as you. I just love God, and I do a praise break on the show every morning. Remember what all y'all pastors taught us, that all of this is only a test.
Oh, Doc, I believe in that. And let me close. I can close by saying this. I'm driving down the road, and honestly, the Spirit of the Lord spoke to me and said, Marvin, this is going to be a teachable moment. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, God, well, what are you trying to teach me? He said, well, I'm trying to teach you exactly what you've been singing for years. That after this, you're going to be stronger. Mm. You're going to be wiser.
Come on.
You're going to be better. You're going to be so much better. And I want my church to know that, I stand in integrity and that I'm here to protect the integrity of our church, the Chosen Vessel Church in Fort Worth. And while I'm here, I might as well invite all of y'all to come to University of Texas, Arlington, and be with me on Easter Sunday, because we're going to give God a crazy praise. We're going to magnify Him. We're going to glorify Him at 11 a.m. in Fort Worth. In the midst of all of this,
in the midst of all of this, you can still find room
to
bring people close, to take this opportunity to use this situation to bring people closer to God. That says a lot about you.
It's not about, one of the things I've learned in pastoring, and one of my members asked me this yesterday. She was like, I don't understand how you can take this and keep smiling and preaching and you kind of acting like it's not bothering you. And I had to tell them, I learned that sometimes God gives you a grace for certain situations in life. And this is one of the situations that I've been graced for. So, at the end of the day, I'm not angry at anyone. I'm not upset. I understand, people, and I'm going to say this, no matter what I say, there are some people that have already made up their minds what they feel about Marvin Sapp. And they, no matter what I say, they're going to be like, well, he said this and he did that and da-da-da-da-da. So those aren't the individuals that I'm trying to convince. The individuals that I'm speaking to are those who may find themselves in this situation. And my prayer, and I promise you, I'm closing with this. Preachers always close 4 times anyway. But my prayer is that if you find yourself in this situation, that the grace that you didn't show me, that you still receive. Mm. My prayer is that the mercy that I did not receive, that you receive. And I promise you, I've been praying all week long and saying, Lord, just don't let them have to go through what I went through. And the reason being is because I don't know if they possess the ability to handle it.
Right.
And I'm grateful that I do have a greater one on the inside of me that gives me the ability to stand in the midst of difficult situations.
All right, y'all, ladies and gentlemen, love you, man.
I love you too, man. Thank you so much.
Marvin Sapp, y'all.
I'm done.
No, Marvin Sapp, y'all. And when we come out, we're going to play your song.
More Rickey Smiley Morning Show up next.
The Rickey Smiley Morning Show, baby.